Hello everyone, welcome back to the Review 2Cam channel. Today I'm bringing you a story that's not only emotional, but also incredibly intense. It's the journey of a single mother, fragile yet strong, together with her little child on a path full of hardship. And right now, let's put ourselves in her shoes to fully feel the fear and despair of that fateful evening. That evening, as dusk began to fall, I clutched little Zoe tightly in my arms. My legs shook, but I forced myself to run down the empty dirt road. My heart pounded, and all I could hear were the heavy footsteps chasing behind me. Closer and closer. They shouted angrily, "Stop, stop right there." My body went cold. In desperation, I screamed, "Somebody please help us." But the only reply was silence. Zoe wailed her cries, tearing my heart apart. I kept running, but one of them finally grabbed me. He yanked my arm hard, dragging me roughly along the ground. I struggled, tears streaming down my face. "Let me go." "What do you want from us?" one of them snarled to the others. "Drag her somewhere quiet. We can't do this here." In that moment, I felt everything collapse. There was no escape. All I could do was hold my child tight and pray for a miracle. And then suddenly, a man's voice rang out loud, firm, commanding. "What are you doing? Let her go." I looked up. A stranger had appeared, standing right in front of them. Overwhelmed, I burst into tears and cried out for help. "Please help me. They've been chasing me. I don't even know who they are." The two guys kept threatening him, but he didn't back down. He stepped forward, his voice firm. "What kind of men pick on a woman holding a small child? Do you want me to call the police right now?" He pulled out his phone. I could see the thugs get nervous. They glanced at each other, then stomped off, still pointing and shouting threats. "Remember my face? Don't let us meet again." I nearly collapsed. My whole body was shaking. If it hadn't been for him, I don't know what would have happened to me and my child. He gently asked, "Are you okay?" I choked up, holding my child and crying, I'm okay. Because of you, my child and I got away." In that moment, I realized some strangers show up at exactly the right time, like a lifesaver in the middle of darkness. You know, everything that happened to us that day actually started from inside the very home I thought was sheltering me. I remember that afternoon. In Shuyen's yard under the hot sun, his wife came out in a fury. She looked at her husband with irritation. "Honey, the yard is getting overgrown. Go clear it for me for a few hours so it gets done. I can't keep doing it by myself." Shuyan sat there, holding his head, tired, and replied, "I've got a bad headache today. Please do it for now. When I'm better, I'll help." But instead of understanding, she started to criticize him, her voice full of sarcasm. "There you go. You can't help with housework. You spend your days helping other people, driving them around. When our family asks for a little help, you say you're tired. Why aren't you tired when you're running errands for them?" Her words cut into me like a knife. I knew right away that the other person she was talking about was me. Shu Yan snapped back. "What are you nagging about? She's in a tough situation. We're just helping her a little. Why keep bringing it up?" But his wife only got louder, practically shouting. "Letting her stay here isn't enough. You're running back and forth all the time. Or maybe you actually like that woman." Hearing that, I could feel Shu Yan's frustration boiling over. He jumped up and grabbed a plastic chair from the yard. His wife instantly threw herself to the ground in her usual dramatic way, screaming at the top of her lungs, "Oh my God, Mom, Dad, Shu Yan is hitting me? He's cheating? And now he's about to hit me with a chair. Her screams brought his father rushing out, his voice stern. This house isn't a marketplace. Why all the yelling? The wife immediately complained. See, Dad. I asked him to clear the yard, and he said he was too tired, but he never says no when it's for her. Tell me, how is that fair? His father turned to Shu Yan, waiting for an explanation. Shu Yan just sighed. Exhausted. Dad, she's struggling. She came from another place with a small child. I'm only helping a little, that's all. The father tried to calm things down. Enough. The fortunate should help the less fortunate. There's nothing wrong with helping her. You two need to talk it out quietly. Don't make a scene. But I knew. His words didn't reach her. Her eyes still burned with anger. Shu Yan couldn't take it anymore. He stormed off, jumped on his motorbike, and sped out of the yard. She stood there watching him go, her lips trembling with rage. I could never forget that look in her eyes, calculated, poisonous. Blinded by jealousy, she muttered under her breath, "Ever since that woman showed up, he's completely changed. He even tried to hit me with a chair. It's all her fault. She needs to be taught a lesson." Then she pulled out her phone. Her voice was cold, chilling. "Hello. Hey. I need a favor. I want you to deal with someone. She's staying at my place, and now she's trying to seduce my husband. I just need you to warn her, scare her a little, so she stops. Don't worry. I'll make it worth your while when it's done." Those few words were like a sentence hanging over our heads. A cruel plan was being set in motion. Me, a stranger weak, just looking for a place to stay, had no idea I was being pushed into something dangerous. I still remember clearly the day the family drama in Shu Yan's house exploded. That tension turned me into an excuse for his wife to vent her anger. That day, Shu Yan was exhausted, holding his head, and saying he had a bad headache so he couldn't help with clearing the yard. His wife wouldn't listen. Seeing him rest, she started nagging in a heavy tone. "You only care about outsiders. When your wife and kids ask for help, you say you're tired, but you never complain when you run around giving rides to that woman. How come you're never tired?" Then I knew right away that that woman meant me. It stung. Shu Yan frowned and raised his voice a little louder than usual. "Don't say nonsense. She's struggling. No one helped her. We just gave her a little support. You've been nagging about this for days." But she didn't stop. Her voice got louder and more hateful. "Isn't letting her stay enough? Now you keep going in and out of that shack. Or maybe you like her. Did she seduce you?" Hearing those accusations, I could only hold my child tight inside the shack, my heart racing. Honestly, I never dared think anything more. I was just grateful they'd given us shelter. In a moment of anger, Shu Yan grabbed a plastic chair. His wife immediately threw herself to the ground, shrieking and crying like it was a rehearsed act. "Oh my God! Mom, Dad! Shu Yan hit me. He's cheating, and now he's going to hit me with a chair." Her screams sent his father running out of the house, shouting sternly, "This house isn't a marketplace. Why all the yelling every day?" His wife quickly jumped in to complain, her voice trembling with fake sobs, but sharp with bitterness. "See, Dad, I only asked him to clear the yard, and he said he was tired. But whenever it's about that woman, he never refuses. Isn't that unfair?" His father turned to Shu Yan, waiting for an explanation. Shu Yan just sighed, speaking in a defeated tone. "Dad, She's in a tough spot with a small child. I'm just trying to ease her hardship, that's all." His father tried to calm things down, speaking slowly. "Enough. It's nothing serious. She's struggling, so we help her. You two should talk it out quietly. No need to make a scene." But I could see it in the wife's eyes. She wasn't listening anymore. All that was left was hatred. Unable to take it any longer, Shu Yan stormed off, jumped on his motorbike, and sped away. His figure faded into the distance, while his wife stood there, eyes blazing. I could hear her grinding her teeth. That's it. Ever since that woman showed up, he's completely changed. Now he even dares to grab a chair to threaten me. It's all her fault. She needs to be taught a lesson. Then, she pulled out her phone and called someone. Her voice was calculating, cold. "Hey, I need your help. The girl's staying at my house. She's trying to seduce my husband. I want you to warn her, scare her, so she stops. Don't worry, I'll make it worth your while." I never imagined those bitter words, that blind jealousy, would turn into a real plot. And me, an innocent woman, once simply someone being sheltered, suddenly became the enemy in another woman's eyes. Before all the chaos came crashing down my daughter, and I actually lived a very simple life, but in its own way, it was beautiful. That morning, I carried little Zoe on my back, while my hands quickly picked guavas in the garden. Each fruit was plump, its green skin dotted with tiny freckles. Some had a faint yellow glow under the sunlight. I picked, one took a bite. The crunch rang out, crisp and fresh, the flavor. The sweetness spread across my tongue. Even in hardship, my heart felt light whenever I saw my child smile, her wide, round eyes following every movement I made. Later, I brought the guavas to the market. I spread out an old tarp on the ground and neatly arranged the baskets of fruit. Little Zoe sat quietly in my lap, her tiny hands tugging at the cloth wrapped around her. Shoppers stopped by, some bought a kilo, others just a few to taste. Everyone smiled and said, "What a sweet, well-behaved baby." Hearing those words warmed my heart. I sold the guavas for just 10,000 a kilo, and before long, most of my load was gone. Looking at the small bills in my hand, though modest, I felt I still had enough strength to provide for my child meal by meal. But I didn't know then. Somewhere else in the market eyes were searching for me. That day, 2 men, local officials, had just finished their work and stopped by the market asking around. Later, I was told that one of those men was the very same person who had saved me and my child. He went from the clothing stalls to the fish stalls to the vegetables, anxiously asking, "Have you seen a young woman in a striped shirt carrying a baby about a year old?" But everyone shook their heads, saying they hadn't. I thought nobody cared about me, but in truth, someone was quietly looking, silently worried about our safety. Looking back, I realized his appearance at that critical moment wasn't a coincidence. It was the result of a kind heart of genuine concern he carried for a stranger like me. After that terrifying chase, the kind man didn't abandon me. He walked me and my child all the way back to our little shack. Along the way, pushing his bike, he turned to me, his voice full of concern. "Do you have enemies? Why were they chasing you like that?" I shook my head, tears still wet on my cheeks, my voice trembling. "I don't know who they are. I don't think they were robbers because they didn't take anything. They just wanted to hurt me." He nodded seriously, then reassured me. "Don't worry. I'll report this to the police so they can look into it. But from now on, you need to be more careful wherever you go." Choking up, I replied, "Thank you so much. If it hadn't been for you, I don't know what would have happened to us." When he left his figure fading behind the bamboo trees, I locked the shack door and held little Zoe tightly in my arms. She had stopped crying, her tiny hands reaching up to touch my face. I pressed my cheek against hers, her warmth easing some of the fear still lingering in me. In the quiet, her pure laughter echoed through our simple shack, filling it with life. I whispered, playfully, "Baba, let me hold you, sweetheart." She giggled, and in that moment, I understood no matter how many storms waited outside, I had to be strong to protect her. I realized something. Jealousy can twist a person into cruelty, pushing others into danger. But kindness and courage from good people can pull someone back from the edge. Above all, the power of a mother's love is the reason I will never give up. I have to live to stand strong for my child's smile and her future. Life ahead may still be full of hardships, but I believe as long as I hold on to faith and love my daughter, and I will overcome it all.